to the journey to the Pacific Northwest as being the biggest challenge, he said. The large part of the grain travels to Pacific Northwest ports, goes via rail, and the need to clear ice from the tracks. Okay, so this was, of course, during that great snowstorm, and this disrupted everything. But you have to understand that China's buying all this up. And all we needed for a perfect storm is, one, we don't have the water. We're having droughts. Two, who knows what that, if you talk to the agricultural, that freeze didn't help. We're also coming into extreme weather of massive tornadoes in Texas, flooding in other areas, as well as, what will it look like with all the hail? I know Texas just also got hit with huge amounts of hail as well. So we have drought in California. We have hail in Texas, freezing that may have taken out crops and slowed production. And we're starting to see this in the stores, in the shelving. If you've noticed, when you go to your local grocery store, you'll notice that, things are limited. So this was another one. High fiber cereals, fans decry nationwide shortage of grape nuts. So this was grains as well. I'm going to put that in the show notes. You can read that. And a lot going on, to say the least. There's a lot going on, and I'm curious what you think. I'm curious where you stand. I'm curious, is this just something we have to get through? Or is this detrimental to our survival? Does this mean, and I'm not talking about inciting a riot or a panic or anything like that, but paying very, very close attention to what is going on. Going forward, we need to look at something. And this is my aim with talking about all these things, because this reminds me, I am reminded of the Exodus. I'm reminded of how the Exodus started. And we're literally seeing a mass exodus from certain states in the United States. We're seeing people fleeing from California, moving to Texas in hopes of sustaining a better life, hopes of having a business, hopes of just making ends meet. We're seeing fleeing from several states into other states. And the sustainability of the nation is at risk. Not just that these states will be great and produce, but as I just read, the sustainability of the United States is, and I'm putting it lightly, at great risk. So, going forward, what are you expecting? And many would say that it doesn't matter. I won't be here. And that can be true in more ways than just one, but many point to what they call the rapture. I myself am not a rapturist. And we need to dive into that. We need to talk about this, of what did God do in the past that would tell us exactly what he's going to do in the future. So we're going to take the book of Exodus, and we're going to take, namely, the book of Revelation, as well as Daniel and several others, and we're going to line these things up, because they do line up. And I'm going to do the very best that I can. to provide the evidence that why I'm not expecting a rapture, but why I'm expecting a relocation. And I've talked with others, experts, biblical experts at length about these things. And it's time for me to just sit down and do it myself and take you along with me. I'm hoping you'll go along with me on this ride, that we'll take this journey together. And I'm hoping when we come to the end of it that maybe even I'll have a clear understanding. But I'm hoping that we all see the same thing. That what is to come is far different than what is being taught in the church, at least in the Western culture. And this will help you better prepare and to understand what it is that you're going to endure. Because that's half the battle right there, is understanding what you're going to endure. He's not going to just drop you off in an unknown location and say, well, good luck. He's literally given you everything that you need to endure. And the biggest part of that, and if you talk to anybody in the military, and especially special forces, every single one of them said that the main reason that those that don't make it through the testing and the trials to be a special operator, whether it's the Rangers, Navy SEALs, or Delta, or whatever, it's a mental breakdown. Is basically your mind tells you can't, and finally you concede and you believe it. That your body will endure. It will go on. But it's the mind that really has to be overcome, that has to be silenced or reprogrammed, if you will. Reprogrammed with this notion that there is no quit. And reading several books of the men and women that have done the training, have endured, I'm grateful. It has given me clarity as well as hope. Am I likening the bride to special forces? I've thought about that. And there's many similarities to that. And I'm not saying in a war or a warrior, but I guess you could do that as well. But more in a tactical sense, and that's what we're going to be looking at, is maybe more of a tactical reasoning. So, like I said, I have the website, cupwithjoe.net. I will put that in the show notes as well. Lots to think about. I'll put all these articles in the show notes. You can look at them at your leisure. I suggest that you do. And I suggest that you read the entirety of the book of Revelation and the book of Exodus. Namely, the book of Exodus. That's what was on my brain, but it came out Revelation. I apologize. But that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the book of Exodus, and we're going to go through it, and we're going to look at some things, and we're going to grapple with them. We're going to grapple with them. We're just going to take them head on. We're not going to wince. We're not going to stray to the left nor to the right. We're going to take them head on because that's what we're commanded to do. No fear. We're just going to take it head on, and we're just going to look at it. We're going to look it straight in the eye, and we're going to say, all right, all right, God, you got me. I'm prepared. I'm prepared for this mission. I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it. And that's my hope. So, as always, thank you for listening. Take care, and God bless.